Are you listening? Damn. Yeah. Yeah.
Another episode of Trash Talk. I'm TJ O'Connor. With me, as always, Damian the Wolverine Hill. Trash Talk is joined tonight by Lucky Sean Mcpadden. But first, the sponsors of the show: Valhalla Combat Sports Incorporated, Ink Shrinks Tattoo, Origin Wellness CBD, the Striking Institute, Spartan Martial Arts, James Clark Sports Psychology and Hypnosis Therapy, The Fighters, and my mom. Sean, thanks for joining us. How you doing tonight, man?
Yeah, we're doing, another good night, another good day.
Yeah. I mean, it's some unfortunate news, but it was one of those things that's how the fight was sold. Someone's O must go. Unfortunately, you were on the receiving end of that O or that loss. How are you feeling a week after, and how's it settling in right now?
I got a good opportunity to head up north and spend some time with my family right after the fight. For those who don't know, I got TKO'd in 48 seconds. I felt like I was in that 48-second period. I felt like the superior fighter. I was moving better. I was able to get in and get out. Was able to land my land combinations and then get back out. That being said, I got caught coming in. I do have an interesting picture that I think is really funny. It's him staring at the ground and swinging, and me. It looks. If you look at the picture, you would guess 99 times out of 100 that I won the fight by knockout.
Yeah.
But hey, man, 4-ounce gloves, right?
Yeah. Well, it was one of those things like he planted his feet, everything he had in those punches, and it happened to land. Like, I haven't seen the picture, but I was watching the fight, and yeah, he put his head down and throwing some overhands, and so and you just happen to get caught with those. But you've been on the opposite end of some dominant victories. I guess, how does it feel to be on the receiving end this time?
I don't want to call it luck, but I take every opportunity that does come upon me to learn and grow, whether it's a win, whether it's a loss, whether it's a draw, whatever it may be. I really do take it as a learning opportunity. So as tough as this was, and as much momentum as I did have going, and obviously the bright opportunities that I did have ahead of myself if I was to win this fight. I don't think though that light has faded for those opportunities. I think I'm a win or two away, which obviously I'm more than capable of getting. I am a good fighter. Yeah, I'm a great fighter.
Yeah. Okay, this isn't really a question. This is just a statement that I kind of want to make. Usually when you see guys take their first loss or just a loss in general with some fighters, they feel like they're metaphorically starting over now. Like they have to redo everything that they just built and everything. And it seems like your head's in the right place, knowing that you still have some of that light shining, and you're one or two fights away from just being right back where you are right now, or even in a better position. So it's good that you're looking at it like that. Is that something? I guess nobody wants to lose in this sport, and everybody says that nobody remains undefeated for too long. And if you are one of those guys that retired undefeated, it's just you retired before you found somebody that could beat you. But is this one of those things that you kind of expected or always knew in the back of your mind might happen one day? And have you thought about that, or was it just one of those things like, no, I'm never going to lose? And I guess now that you're there, you're finally just crossing the bridge. Now that you're...
It's tough because I definitely was on the borderline of both, I think. I definitely said, going into a fight, I'm never going to lose. I'm never going to lose a fight. Hell no, there's no way. I'm too good. What can this guy do to me that could beat me? I was a better striker than him. I was a better grappler than him. I was better at clinch. I was bigger. I was stronger. I mean, I was faster. I mean, I really did have everything going for me. That being said, I mean, you can get caught. I'm just blessed with the opportunity. I truly do mean this. And I think some people, it's hard for some people to accept, but like, I am a very religious person, and, everything happens for a reason. It's all part of God's plan. I've been through some tough shit in my life, a hell of a lot tougher than this. So that being said, this is, as much as it hurts right now, this happened for a reason, whether it's for me to be able to, whether it's to teach myself, or teach somebody else, or, so I can better, understand someone and what they're going through. There's a lot of reasons that this could have happened. God only knows.
Yeah.
Like my head was getting a little big. I hadn't lost in a long fucking time.
Yeah.
Ever. You haven't lost ever, dude. Not in a long time, ever.
No. Well, Nebraska was a tough fight. Let's just say that but I mean, I learned such a valuable lesson, and even after this fight, I've learned such a valuable lesson. Getting to sit down and talk with established pros who have wins, have losses, and have fought at the highest level, and they said, okay. This is a conversation I've had with Castaneda multiple times. Is, dude, you're a phenomenal fighter, and most people on the planet will never be able to beat you once you settle in. Okay, I don't settle into fights 1 minute in. I don't settle into fights 2-3 minutes in. I settle into fights usually, at 3.5, 4 minute towards the end of the first round. I tend to rush things. I really do, because I've had in my head that when I step into that cage, I'm just better than you, and I'm going to assert that in whatever way I feel like I want to. And it's worked for me for a really long time. And then I ran into a dude who slung bricks.
Yeah.
One of those connected, and that was the night. So that being said, going into my future fights, you can expect maybe a little bit of a slower pace, more tactical attack, because I think at the end of the day, I'm still better than almost everybody on the regional scene.
Yeah. No,
outside of the UFC, there's just not a lot of guys that can beat me.
This is one thing that I say. TJ's heard me say it multiple times. I have 8 losses on my record. I don't feel like there's anybody on this planet that can beat me. Like even after I lose, I still feel like I'm unbeatable. Like it's not the fact that I'm special and that like all of these things or whatever. It's just that I still feel like my abilities are that good. I'm that good of a fighter, and it's not no doubt gets brought in, and it's so hard to explain to somebody who doesn't necessarily understand where a fighter's mind has to be at, and I this wasn't really a question. I don't actually even know where I was really going with this, but it's just like I relate to what you're saying, dude. Like I totally get it.
It's a confident sort of clarity that you need to decide to step in the cage. I mean, it's a weird thing, but I totally understand what you're saying.
Yeah, I feel like, when you're in that position, you almost have to compartmentalize and put that in a different position. It's like, sure, that may have happened, but that didn't happen to me. And I heard a funny story, and I don't even want to go off on the rails, but, Chael Sonnen was telling a story about some wrestler he knew who the guy goes, I've never been pinned. And he looked at him and goes, well, no, you got pinned this one time. He's like, not in my mind, or like, something like that. And when you're in that position and you're one of the best guys, you have to have that. I mean, short of John Jones and Khabib, everybody's lost. I literally can't even think of anybody at a high level who hasn't been in this position. And talking to you here 1 week later, and it sounds like you have your head on straight. Like you mentioned, you were able to go up north and kind of, decompress a little bit. You've had the chance to talk to the veterans who've been in these positions. And I agree with what Damian said. You might have been, up 10 stairs. you didn't go down 10 stairs by any means. You might have went down one stair, and you're in a position now where you're one fight away to being back in the position you were in. So having this experience and learning from this, what's the one thing, like you kind of mentioned a couple things that you're going to have to, focus on, maybe slow down the pace a little bit. Is there something in the training aspect that you think you're going to be able to take from this to be in this experience, maybe knowing that when the guy's throwing like that, kind of take that step back a little bit extra? Because I loved the pace you were at. Like you mentioned, the 48 seconds you're in there, we can joke about it, but you looked really good. I feel like you were right there and, at the end of the punch, but you can only be at the end of the punch so many times. Is it a matter of taking that and growing with it, or how do you incorporate that moving forward?
Well, part of it is sticking to a game plan until it's time to adapt. The game plan was to push him against the cage, or work him against the cage with the strikes, kind of force it, because he backed straight up, and you saw it. I think I did it 3 times in 40 seconds. Yeah. Where I had his back foot planted in the cage, and I didn't shoot, or I didn't press the action into a clinch. So I got to make sure I execute the game plan until it's time to adapt. Training wise, there's not a whole lot to change. I am focusing, and this was kind of the plan post this fight, regardless. But I'm getting back to more of there's going to be fight time training for hour and a half, 2 hours. And then there's going to be skill training, whether that skill is jiu-jitsu or wrestling or Muay Thai or boxing. I'm making sure I'm separating those practices, and I'm going to make sure, I'm breaking down things and drilling things the way I want to. Like for today, for instance, I drilled wrestling and only wrestling for an hour straight. Drilled 9 different variations of a single leg and how to finish it. Same setup. Then tonight I drilled boxing with D'Angelo Curtis. And I know you guys know D. Curtis personally, and you know how good of a boxer he is. Yep. So, and I just posted a little clip of what we were doing on Instagram. And, I'm going to be bringing some real bombs. I really do think some real technical bombs. Like, the punches I posted on my Instagram, I'm throwing at 80%. I'm not even throwing at 100%, and those things are cracking. Yeah. And it's just the matter of fact that just when you are solid technically throwing those punches, they just land differently.
Yeah, I totally understand.
And that's part of what I'm going to be working on. I think it's tough, fight training wise. There's not a whole lot I can change. I think I'm at the peak level. I really do. My cardio is top notch. My strength is great. My skill application, I think, is very, very good as well. And I think as my technique level rises, that will only get better. So, I'm just going to continue to drill and continue to work, and I think it'll show.
Dude, okay, this just started popping in my head. I'm so glad that we talked to all the fighters and that we have multiple interviews with you and other fighters as well, but specifically you, just because we talked specifically about that one episode, what defines the greatest of all time. And one of the things that we had mentioned and you had spoke on is that, well, we were talking about GSP specifically in this instance, but with the 3 losses that I'm thinking about, I don't know if he has 3 losses total or whatever, but with the losses to Matt Serra, to Matt Hughes, and I think that was it. I think that's it. Yeah. So with those 2 losses, he came back and he came back better. Not only did he never lose again, he never lost those ways or never even been put in those positions again. Those losses ultimately ended up making him better. And some of the things that you were saying in that, when we were talking about that in that episode, I kind of go into a little bit of what you were kind of saying right now, where the things that you're mentioning on specific training, where your head is at and settling into fights. This is not even a question. This is just a statement. It seems like that whatever clicked for GSP that started to make him a better fighter may have just clicked for you too, dude. Just with this conversation that we're having right now, it's like, fuck. Like, I mean,
I kind of have a little new motto, stay humble but stay hustling.
Yeah.
And I think with that, and I will always have a reference point. Every time I look at that video, because even to this day, I don't ever remember being hit in that fight. I never got hit in that fight in my mind, because the one shot that I was hit with, knocked me unconscious. And my body was obviously running on instinct, and was able to kind of weather the storm for a couple seconds, but eventually he put the lights out. Kudos to him. Good job, good finishing ability, but that was a tough one.
Yeah.
But I do really think moving forward, you're gonna see a much more reserved demeanor to myself, but the confidence is obviously still there. I am, like I said, and I already said it in this interview, I'm a hell of a fighter. I'm one of the best guys, if not the best guy on the regional scene. There's not a lot of guys who can keep up with me technically and athletically. I just bring a different dynamic to that cage that most people just cannot hang with.
Okay, speaking as a guy that talked a lot of shit about my opponents and talked up my abilities any chance I got, I heard a lot from my friends, from my family, from teammates and stuff, people saying that, oh, you shouldn't say this, you shouldn't do that or whatever, right? And then after taking a loss, like I have had some of my friends and family say, I told you shouldn't have said that, told you this, told you that. I guess I'm not trying to be a dick or whatever, make you name names of people, make them feel bad or anything, but has that kind of happened for you right now? Is that
no? Absolutely not. I think I never, it's tough because like I still hold true to this opinion. I'm triple a fighter that of the guy I lost to. And that's no disrespect to him. That's just the confidence that I have in myself and my abilities. I think I beat that guy 99 times out of 100.
Dude, okay, let me speak
I got caught.
To the people that are listening to you say that or whatever, like, because you don't at all sound like Shane O'Malley the way that he was saying, because he's trying to deny the fact that he even lost and everything. But this is one thing that I've said multiple times. TJ's heard me say it. I've said it to my coaches, and I've said it to the fighters that I fought against. Some of them have said, "You're not better than me. You're not better than me. You just beat me." I'm like, yes, you're absolutely right. You are twice the fighter that I am. You are 3 times the fighter that I am, 4 times the fighter that I am. It's like that night was my night. Like I'm not even trying to say that to sound like a dick. Like at the time that I beat Nick Compton was a better fighter than me. Like he knew more, he could do more. It's just I won that fight though. Like he was better. Like people don't necessarily understand. Like I'm trying to explain it too, because like I don't know. I've also lost to people in jiu-jitsu that I know that I'm better than. It's just I don't take jiu-jitsu seriously. I'm fucking around and I lost. It's like it's not even like I can't even really explain it. I lost myself. I think you know what I'm saying.
I know what you're saying. It was their night, and you just got caught.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what happened to me. I mean, going into that fight, I mean, that was the most shredded I've ever been muscularly. It was the easiest cut I've ever had. I did 11 pounds in 4 sauna sessions. Like it was easy. It was easy. Like I think I woke up the morning of at like 137 flat. Like it was easy. I went and sat in the hot tub for an hour and shed the last pound.
Yeah.
when I say it was easy, I mean it was easy. Easy making weight. Yeah, kind of going back to what you were saying, like, it was his night. It really was. God, it was written in God's plan that it was his night. And, I got to accept that, and that's okay.
I know TJ is having to get back to watch his kids and shit, whatever bullshit that is. But But before we start to wrap it up, I'm not sure how much time you have, TJ, but I do want to kind of speak on this because we were speaking a little bit off camera what the future lies for you, Sean. And are you looking to bounce right back, jump in there again? Are you looking to take your time? How soon again can fans expect to see you?
You can expect to see me in December. Okay, and I don't care what empire I have to tear down to get a fight. You're gonna see me in December. The goal is right now, whether I have a concussion or not, it's not necessarily. I haven't shown any symptoms past the date of being TKO'd.
Yep.
So I can't like confidently say with 100% that I have a concussion. Therefore, this is my head, and it's beyond important to me that I'm able to be present at an older age. And basically, my number one goal in life is to be a great fighter or be a great father.
Yeah.
So, and at 32, I don't know how many fights Lucky has in him after 32, because that's kind of my retirement period in my mind currently. That being said, if people are paying me 6 figures to fight every single time, we might be able to work something out. And I hope to be able to work my way up to that point where, maybe it's 6 figures, maybe it's 7 figures. And, obviously at 7 figures, we can definitely work something out.
Hell yeah. Oh man. So if there was a quick turnaround in December, do you have anybody in mind, or has any names been listed out for you?
I know LFA wants me back, and I know they really don't want to see me out for too long. I did get a chance to talk to Mark Bear after the fight, and he was about as shocked as I was, I feel like. So I know they want me back, and I would love to go and compete with them. I fought for LFA and RFA 8 times now. I'm 7-1. That's not a bad percentage.
Not at all.
But I wanna get back in there. I want to get under the lights. I'm gonna take the rest of September off from any sort of head contact.
Yep.
And once all my medicals are cleared with my doctor, and she's confident, and I feel confident that we're ready to rock and roll. We're gonna get back to it. I'm gonna do an 8-week camp for hopefully early December, end the year on a high note, and then cruise into 2021 and see what the future holds. Like I said, I think I win 1-2 more fights. I'd be sitting at 6-1, 25 years old, lots of finishing ability, high level jiu-jitsu player, high level striker, great clinch, good wrestler. I'm looking like a tasty treat for the UFC.
Oh yeah.
And I do, and then on top of that, I have the experience of losing. I've tasted the bitterness. Okay, losing leaves a sour taste in your mouth, no matter what.
Yeah.
And it's not a taste you forget quickly. And in my case, I'm blessed that fight's on UFC Fight Pass. Every single time somebody looks my name up on that UFC Fight Pass, it's one of the first videos that's gonna pop up. You see me getting knocked the hell out, and I can find that for myself. I can remind myself, hey, and Pat Miletich said it best, Sean Mcpaddens found out he wasn't invincible on September 4th, and that's not a bad thing, okay? I'm going to be able to carry a different level of respect for my opponents walking in there, and I think that'll help me slow down and, allow me to really let that technique shine that much more than it already has in the past. So I'm excited. I think the future is very, very bright for me. Only time will tell, though. Stay tuned, right?
Oh yeah. TJ, you wanna say something now?
Yeah, I'll say something. Might as well. I feel like you wrapped that up perfectly, Sean. I agree with you. I feel like the future is still very, very bright, and it's still there for the taking. This is just a minor setback. Before we do wrap it up, though, I always want to give you the platform just to thank any teammates, sponsors, anybody outside the gym that's been there for you. The platform is yours, sir.
Huge shout out to all of my sponsors for the continued support, and my brand new sponsor, Compacts USA, supplying me with the massage percussion gun as well as the TENS unit. So my recovery is only going up even more and more and more. USO Cryotherapy, my boy Ben, thank you so much for supporting me, buddy. Keeping me healthy, keeping my recovery fast. Virus International, always supplying my shorts, making me look sharp. Alpha Dog Music, my boy Apollo, check out Mamba. One of my favorite songs, the song I walked out to, Hong Time Maple Grove. Thank you so much for always being there through years and years and years at this point. Decerifite, thank you so much for basically, improving my general health. I'm not just talking about like my fight, getting cut and getting fight ready. Just my general health as well as my fighter health, and being able to live just a better life through knowledge of what my DNA in my body tells me. And then lastly, Accelerated Chiropractic. Renee Taylor, thank you so much for sticking with me through the thick and the thin, doing all of my concussion stuff, keeping my body together, putting my body back together. And then lastly, thank you to my girlfriend, family, friends, Academy, McCoon's boys. The train might have slowed down a little bit, but, we're going to keep chugging and chugging and chugging and chugging. And I can't wait to see what that future holds. So, and then thank you to you guys, giving me a platform to share my perspective, share my opinion. And, it's something special that you guys give to us. So thank you.
Dude, thank you for being so comfortable and willing to share with us right now. I mean, I really appreciate it. Like I say all the time, we're nothing without the fighters. People watching this video, like this video, subscribe to Trash Talk with Damien and TJ. Don't be a hoe.